The blaring honk of a truck shattered the afternoon calm, and in that split second, the world seemed to freeze. A small boy, no more than 6 years old, stood paralyzed in the middle of the crosswalk, his wide, terrified eyes fixed on the massive truck barreling toward him. From the corner of the street, a man in a ragged army jacket and worn-out boots reacted without hesitation. His body surged forward with the kind of speed only raw instinct and years of training could summon. Ethan Carter had been a soldier once, a decorated veteran who had seen the worst corners of the world. Now, he was a man most people ignored, living under an overpass with a tattered sleeping bag and a cardboard sign. Yet at that moment, none of that mattered. He lunged, grabbing the boy and rolling them onto the sidewalk just as the truck screeched past, the wind of it brushing against their faces. The child trembled, clutching Ethan's coat, while Ethan's own heart hammered against his ribs. The mother's scream tore through the air as she sprinted over, tears streaking her face. She snatched her son into her arms, sobbing into his hair, then turned to Ethan with a trembling voice. You saved him. You saved my baby." Ethan just nodded, still catching his breath. He didn't expect thanks. He rarely expected anything anymore. But when the crowd that had gathered began murmuring, recording, and even applauding, Ethan's chest tightened. He wasn't used to being seen, let alone celebrated. He gave the boy a small smile, ruffled his hair, and started to walk away. He had no home to go to, no family waiting. He had done his part and wanted to disappear into the shadows again. But the story didn't disappear. By nightfall, videos of the rescue flooded social media. A man with a veteran's cap and weathered face diving into traffic to save a child became the talk of the town. People started asking, who was he? Where did he sleep? And why did a man like that have to live on the streets? The next morning, Ethan was back under the overpass when a group of strangers approached, ordinary people with warm smiles and tearful eyes. Among them was the boy's mother, carrying a thermos of coffee and a bag of warm food. "You saved my son," she said softly. "Let us help you now." At first, Ethan resisted. He wasn't used to kindness without strings. But as the community rallied, organizing a fundraiser, arranging a place for him to stay, and even offering counseling for the nightmares that had haunted him since the war, his heart began to thaw. The little boy visited him often, always with a drawing or a hug, as if trying to return the piece of life Ethan had given him. Weeks later, the town held a small ceremony for Ethan. They gave him a modest apartment, helped him reconnect with veteran services, and most importantly, reminded him that he was not invisible anymore. When Ethan looked out at the crowd, families, children, neighbors, he realized something profound. A single act of instinctive kindness had not only saved a life but had also saved his own. On the first night in his new apartment, Ethan sat by the window, sipping coffee and watching the streetlights glow. For the first time in years, he felt human again, part of a world he thought had left him behind. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I finally made it home." Rewritten shorter, an emotionally stronger version. The honk of a truck ripped through the air as a small boy froze in the crosswalk. In a heartbeat, Ethan Carter, a homeless veteran in a torn army jacket, sprinted forward. He grabbed the child, rolling them to safety as the truck roared past. The mother collapsed into tears, holding her son, and stared at Ethan. "You saved my baby." Ethan nodded quietly, ready to vanish back under the overpass he called home. But the world had already seen him. The rescue went viral, and the town wanted to know the man behind the heroism. By the next day, neighbors, strangers, and the boy's mother appeared with food, warmth, and offers of help. They gave him a place to stay, therapy for his scars, and a sense of belonging he thought he'd lost forever. That night, in his first real home in years, Ethan whispered to himself, "I'm finally home."